All right, today we're talking about elevator pitches. If anybody doesn't know what that is, an elevator pitch is essentially if you're riding up in an elevator and you see a prospect that you want to engage, you've got about 20 or 30 seconds till they get off on their next floor or whatever their floor is. And you want to state a feature and a benefit that identifies that helps them identify what whatever their problem is and the pain that's causing them. Sometimes we can put the competition into it, who the customer might be, but mainly we want the solution, the features, and the benefits. The objective. What the deal is. And it doesn't matter what you're selling. When you're in a situation where you have only a very short period of time to give a presentation and you have a chance of closing the deal, you need the audience to listen to what you have to say. And unfortunately, few people realize that getting the audience to listen to what you have to say is much harder than it seems. And the problem is people are busy, just like you. They have too much to do and too little time to get it all done. And what's more, it never fails that the more potentially helpful someone is, the busier they're likely to be. So if you want to be successful, take this problem seriously and let's figure out how to communicate our message in a way that will get the attention of someone who has 100 other things on their mind. Now, the short idea of an elevator pitch, it's just an overview of a product, service, or whatever. It's a solution to a problem, and it's designed strictly to get a conversation started. Okay, you want to use this to draw the prospect out, to begin getting their objections so you can engage them, overcome them, and of course earn the right to qualify. This is your starter for what I call the sales interview. And this type of pitch, it's designed to quickly catch the attention of your audience, to captivate them, persuade them to pay attention to what you have to say and convince them that they want to hear more. And an elevator pitch will do this by answering very basic questions. And these questions are basic and they're often overlooked. And basically, you want the what, the who, the why, and who the hell are you? What is it? Who needs it? Why do they need it? And who are you to see their problem and give them a solution? Also, an important fact to look at is we want to leave things open in this. And an effective elevator pitch leaves the details for later, okay, about how our solution to their problem works. Okay, picture this. You've been trying to get a hold of the CEO of some major Fortune 500 that does several billion a year and can place several million in business with you annually. And you're attending a conference or whatever, and you go to get in an elevator, and you see this guy. He's right there next to you, and you've never been able to get him on the phone. What do you say? You know, that's what you want to do, because this guy, his only objective is to get to his destination floor. So we need to captivate that person's attention. And you know, this picture may seem a bit idyllic, but you know, encounters like these happen. They happen to, you know, salespeople. They happen to entrepreneurs. They also happen to job seekers, authors, screenwriters, anybody who has something to pitch. And by design, it might be just luck that you come face to face with the person who can help you achieve whatever that goal is, or who can buy your solution to their problem. And regardless of what it is, there are very few people who are actually prepared to deal with this situation. And I'm not saying you're going to be out there wanting to sell like this. I'm saying that if you're prepared for this situation, when you get that decision maker on the phone, you can give them your features and benefits quickly and captivate them, you know, before you run out of time. So does anybody have anything they would like to add to the introduction of an elevator pitch? If you do, let me know, and we're going to go right after that. We're going to go in depth into how to do it.
Mike, I think dissecting the sales process, there's a lot of emphasis on closing the sale, but most importantly, if you think about it, the opener is the most critical thing of the sales process, because they're deciding within that short period of time whether they're going to listen to you, whether you're compelling, whether you're convincing, whether you believe in your product and your service. There's so many things that they're weighing in microseconds, and whether they want to even engage in further conversation with you before you even begin to start closing. So I think the opener is the most critical part of the sales process.
Absolutely, because if you can't grab their attention, you cannot give your full presentation. And the point of the opener or the elevator pitch, it's not to get every detail of our solution into their head. All we want to do, and all we're going to have time to do, is make sure we have a captive audience, you know, that they understand what we're talking about, and we have created some type of interest for them to want more, to draw them out. And you know, the first thing they're going to think is, what's in it for me? You know, so you know, getting at that point, getting into the details of our solution would only confuse things when you're doing an elevator pitch. the main thing is to get the features and benefits across, and the way we want to do that. Sorry guys, I got sidetracked for a second there. Noise was coming through, and anyway, what we want to do is think about 9 different things when we're creating our own elevator pitch. Okay, we want to be concise, clear, compelling, credible, conceptual, concrete, consistent, customized, and conversational. Those are your 9 C's for elevator pitches. And what this is going to do is get your idea into someone's head and leave them wanting more. Okay, so we want concise, clear, compelling, credible, conceptual, concrete, consistent, customized, and conversational. And then you can get to number 10, the close. Okay, and these things, they don't just apply to an elevator pitch, but they actually represent the keys to effective communication in a wide variety of settings. Okay, so it's a good idea to think of your pitch as something like, here's my musical instrument simile for the day, an accordion. If you're playing an accordion and you keep your hands close together, the accordion is narrow and compact. If you spread your hands apart, it's wide and expansive. Okay? And your pitch has to do the same thing. It must be able to be short and focused if necessary, but it must also be able to expand and fill the time that is available. One thing we want to look at is word limits. Okay, when you're writing an elevator pitch, and of course we've got sample stuff in our training, but you want to make something your own. You know, for example, if I run into somebody, let's say on an elevator, what a concept. And I run into somebody and they say, "Oh, what do you do, Mike?" I can say, "Well, I work for the firm Lyons and Associates. We're a commercial debt collection agency that does face-to-face visits to collect debts, and we are the most effective commercial debt collection agency in the country. By the way, are you the person that makes the decision to place accounts, or does your company use collection agencies or attorneys as an extension of its credit department?" You want to keep in mind that most people can comfortably speak at around 125 words a minute. So when it comes to a word budget for your elevator pitch, you're talking about 25 or so words on the low side and 250 at the absolute maximum. If you have any doubts about that, stay under the 250 limit. because it's better to speak slowly and in a calm and relaxed manner than it is to be rushed. By rushing through your pitch, you're more likely to damage your credibility by sounding hurried and disorganized than you are to help yourself by getting in that one extra sentence. Myself, when I'm writing pitches or anything of the sort, I'm always deliberately a little paranoid, and I assume that myself or my speaker could be cut off at any moment. So as a result, I try to use something like an inverted pyramid model that newspapers use. The one that says, rather than burying the most important information in the body of a story, you should instead start the story with it. That way someone can get the gist of the story by reading just the first line or two, which is, you know, a lead-in. You know, then they can keep on reading if they want more information or details. Most importantly, one of the things that we have to realize in inside sales is that the more people that we can get to engage us about our services, the more business we will write, the more clients we will accumulate to build our respective books of business, and the more money we will make. So obviously time is of the essence here. If your lead-in is short and concise and it determines whether that person is going to engage you or tell you to go to hell, it's good to know that information really quickly so you can bring forward your objections or bring forward your rebuttals to their objections and get them engaged so you can qualify your prospect and get the business. So your summary sentence is the most critical element of your elevator pitch. It's what you should say if you only have time to say one thing. The job of your summary sentence is to provide your audience with a quick, crisp view of what you are doing. And by quick, I mean less than 25 words, and something that can be delivered in about 10 seconds. By crisp, I mean something well organized and that flows off the tongue easily. Okay, meaning you want to believe in it yourself. You know, you want to be able to say whatever this is with conviction, and also it needs to be something, of course, that focuses on the what of our solution, and something that leaves the how to a later part of the conversation. And there are actually 3 reasons why it's important to start off your pitch or your opener with a summary sentence. The first thing, and most importantly, is first impressions. People start forming an impression of others in just a few brief seconds. And as the old saying goes, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So you want your prospect's first impression of you to be of someone who is organized, articulate, and diligent. not someone who is disorganized and long-winded and anything else that might fall in there. Secondly, when encountering any new piece of information, people quickly decide whether to pay attention to it or not. They make a quick decision on whether what they are hearing or reading, seeing, whatever, is relevant or not. So you want the answer to that question to be yes, what I'm saying is relevant. Yes, it can benefit you. Yes, it is important to you. Okay? Lastly, and this is the third thing, in most cases, you have no way of knowing in advance how much time you have to talk to a person. It might be 10 seconds or 10 minutes. So your safest thing to do, and I tell people to be confident, but I'm going to tell you right now, be paranoid. And I don't mean be paranoid and peeking out the blinds like a crackhead. I mean, be a little paranoid and assume that you only have a really short period of time. Okay? And if it turns out that you have more time, you can go into more detail. So, paranoid doesn't mean nervous. It means just be conscious. Okay? Assume that you might only have 10 seconds to capture that attention. Okay? And one of the other C's I pointed out was clarity. Well, my bad. I said be clear. Okay? What you want to realize is that if you're not perfectly clear on what you're saying, they may not understand it. Okay? A lot of this is something scientists will will do a lot. They try to talk to a layman about what they're doing in science, or a technologist or an engineer, and if they tell me this, I'm like, man, what the hell are you talking about? I have no idea what you're saying. Nor do I give a damn about molecules or whatever you're talking about. You know, I was a science major in college for about 2 semesters. And I changed it. Why? Because I'm not interested. I thought I was at first, and I said, man, you know what? I don't need this. I don't want it. I want something else. So I did something else. Initially was music, then business. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But these guys do the same basic thing to an audience. Instead of easing the audience into a discussion of their solution, they just hit it. They launch. They just launch into the explanation without taking into account the experience or the interest of the audience. And you know what happens to the audience? They tune out the pitch and the pitcher. Next is compelling. Okay, we all know what compelling means. And there's no better way to make someone happy than by solving a problem. Okay? And that's what we do here. We solve problems. We solve accounts receivable problems. So that's compelling. So I'm not going to go too far into what compelling is, because I don't want to lose my clarity, or I don't want to lose your interest. And one other thing, the reason solving a problem is so important is because most people do not like to change. Okay, if they have to make change to solve that problem, they're not going to want to do it. If we can solve it for them, we make it easier. Okay. On credibility, this is something that's pretty self-explanatory. If you know who we are and what we do, you should know that we're a credible agency. You should also be able to provide your prospective clients with references if they ask for them. This isn't something you want to initially go in and start offering the clients, because we don't want our other clients getting bombarded with phone calls. But if they ask you for references, send them some. Send them some. And if you're going to do it for existing clients that you have, make sure you have that client's permission to use them as a reference prior to giving their name and number out. Okay, another C is customize. Okay, if you look at the way collections are today, most agencies that collect commercial debt are getting a little too wrapped up in how consumer agencies collect debt, and they're getting away from the more customized approaches where they have just one standard operating procedure on how to collect commercial debt. And I'm here to tell you, one size fits all is not something that works for the debt collection industry. It works for the easy accounts. If you're in the business, if you work for an agency that's in the business of just creaming accounts, taking the easy money off of the top, then they don't need a customized solution. And customized does not mean that you're going to have to come up with this big custom thing for them. It just means that our collectors know what to do. They know how to do different things to put different types of pressure on different companies in different industries. Some of the stuff we do here, or a lot of the stuff we do is transportation. A lot of the stuff we do is manufacturing, and a lot of the stuff we do is construction supply related. And these industries alone, if our collectors are unable to come up with a customized solution, meaning they have to go about each account differently. If they're unable to do that, we collect less money for clients. So something that's important is knowing that we set, and of course I have an SOP in place that's standard. However, I have different SOPs for different industries. So that's something important when you're telling a client that our solution is going to be customized for whatever industry they're in. You know, because each client's going to have a different type of debtor. Okay, so if If you're thinking every man is just like every other man, not true. So we've got to make sure they understand it's customized. Just like every person's different, every business is different. Moving on, conversational. And some of you already know that my best advice on being conversational and one of the best ways to persuade others is with your ears. Listen to them. If you study the habits of highly effective people, you will know that they solve most of their problems by listening. Okay, so it's important to understand what the process looks like and listen to what your client or your prospective client is going to say. So that's why when you begin your elevator pitch, you want a short introduction, and then you want to shut the hell up and listen. Okay, because this is part of the process. That prospective client is going to begin to give you the roadmap that you need to close that deal. Okay? They're going to tell you what's on their mind. And think of it as the only chance you'll have to convey your message. And that message is going to determine whether they decide to engage you back or not. Now, some may think it might make sense to cram as much stuff into it as possible. Don't do that. Remember, it's one step in the process. Okay, you don't want to be the alpha and the omega. You want to be one step. And it's an extremely important step. Okay, so this is going to tell you whether you're dealing with somebody that's going to engage you or whether you're dealing with somebody that is not going to engage you. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, you're going to run into several opportunities to tell our story, give a presentation on us. But the main thing is get those features and benefits, opening statement, and get their attention. Okay? Because if you don't get their attention fast, well then you're never going to have it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting long-winded on this, so let's talk about it a little bit. And also, when we have our open forum Q&A Friday, I want you guys to give me an elevator pitch. So we're going to talk about this a little more in depth Friday. That way, this is going to give us the opportunity, after we get off of here today, we can get on the phone, you know, we can jot something down, you know, whether it's I'm Mike Lyons with the firm Lyons and Associates. We're the most effective commercial debt collection agency in the country. Do you use attorneys or collection agencies as an extension of your accounts receivable department? You know, whether it's that or whether it's whatever else, whatever you decide to put in there that's effective, try it out and let's talk about it Friday. Let's analyze it. Let's figure out what we can get into these few seconds to capture the most of our audience. Okay, we're not trying to capture everybody. We're trying to capture the most. We want to increase percentages. The numbers tell us that if you call 100 people, 10 of them are going to talk to you. So let's try to get 11 or 12 or 20 of them to talk to you out of 100. You know, we can increase those numbers by getting in, stating a feature, a benefit, and listening. Floor is open. Talk to me. And guys, if you're ready to say something, don't forget to unmute yourself, unmute your microphone, and somebody talk to me.
Hi, I have a lady. I had a lady that said that she was the decision maker. When I did ask her, was she the person that would make decisions as far as working with the delinquent accounts? And she asked me to send her information because she had more than one company and she needed to get the grand total of the number of accounts receivable that she had that are delinquent. So I called her today. And she said the person that also makes the decisions that would, I suppose, place those accounts would not be in until later today. They come in today. And so I was like, okay, well, should I give you a call on Thursday? And she said she would reply to my email once she spoke with that person. And I could sense that she wasn't going to give me that person's name, so I did not ask. But I am just wondering, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, I would follow up next week if she did not respond or if she did not reply to that email. But how would you suggest to handle that?
Okay. Emailing back and forth isn't going to close the deal in most cases unless you've already grabbed the attention. Now, if she's sold on it already, it sounds like she's a decision influencer. She's not an actual decision maker, more than likely. She might be. She might be, but she might not be. When you have that situation, when they say, well, I've got to get with the other person that makes the decision, simply ask them, and you're going to have to be bold when you do this. Oh, I was under the impression that you made the decision on that. Ask them the name of the person who makes the decision with them and suggest if that person isn't in right then and there. If they are in right then and there, suggest a conference call right then and there. Let's do it right now. Let's talk about it right now. If they're not going to be in till this afternoon, then you want to give them not an is this time or that time okay for you, but give them a choice of decision to make, of decisions, okay? Remember, if you're taking a test, the multiple choice questions are a whole lot easier to answer than those essay questions. Mm-hmm. So you want to give them a choice, make it easy for them to answer you. Okay, well, let's set up a conference call. Would it be better for me to get back to you this afternoon when John Smith is in, or would tomorrow morning be better for you? Okay, you want to get them to make a decision right then and there, and that way you can find out, you know, if they're BSing around or not, because you may have somebody there that is part of the decision. You may have somebody there that influences the decision, or it may just be somebody in the office that's part of the accounts receivable process. You know, they may be an in-house collector or an AR clerk, and that's That's what you want to, you want to determine who your decision makers are. So always get that name. That's very important, and put them on the spot. Okay, they're talking to you about business. Okay, they've told you they have accounts. You've sent them the information. Is there anything stopping you from placing these accounts right now?
I got really excited when she said, well, when I asked her how many accounts did she have that are past 60 days past due, she was like, well, I have another business, so I have to get the grand total. So, of course, I got really excited. I don't know what the grand total could be, but that sounds like a large number. So I said, oh, well, I can't wait to call her back. So she seemed interested, and I was more than happy to send her the information. And I put in the email that I look forward to working with her company, and I'll give her a chance to I'll follow up next week to give her a chance to get the information she needs for the other. I forgot my exact wording, but basically give her a chance to collect the information she needed, and I look forward to doing business with her. So that's what I basically said, and I called today, figuring that would be enough time for her to review the information. So should I just follow up at the end of the week if she does not respond within the next few days? Even though she said, I'll reply to your email, I really don't pay that much attention to that anyway. If they don't reply, I'm going to call back. But would you say, call her back, Friday?
I would. The guy's going to be in this afternoon.
Yes.
Says she's going to reply to your email.
That's what she said. When she talks to that person, she'll reply to my email.
Okay, if you do not have an email back from her by tomorrow afternoon, call her back tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
Okay, you want to show them that we're diligent. If she says we're too aggressive or anything like that, ask her if she wants a pansy collecting her accounts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's the bottom line. We want to go after the money aggressively, but we need to think about business aggressively too.
Mm-hmm.
If we sit there and we wait for them to get back to us or give them a week, it can go cold. The trail can go cold. And keep in mind, we have 4,900 agencies in the United States. Most of them a lot smaller than us, but 4,900 agencies in the United States. And any one of those salespeople could call during that week, and she could say, oh, I was just getting these accounts together for somebody else, but I'll give you a few of them.
Well, yes, I have a guy that I called today, and I'm glad he's in the office. I said I was going to call today. I talked to him on Friday. He was on his way to the bank. He was on Eastern time zone, so he was on his way to the bank before bank closed. And he said, well, send me an email. I didn't get his email because I figured I was going to let him do his business. But I just said, can I follow up on Tuesday? And I called him, and secretary said he was on the phone. So I figured I'll call him a little later this afternoon, but not too late, so I can catch up with him. And like you said, I don't want the trail to go colder. I put that in his mind, like, yeah, I think I would like to place with a collection agency and try to search on his own, or someone else give him before I do. So I certainly am going to call him back right away.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Who else has some stuff going on? And let's try to make the rest of this about elevator pitches. And
I just sent you one. The lady said.
Okay, Edward.
Yeah.
Let's keep the rest of this about elevator pitches, man. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
okay.
we've got several viewers on there, and we've got quite a few people on here to talk about elevator pitches. If you sent an account in, we'll get it. We'll put it in. If you sent it to me, I'll forward it to Susan. She'll put it in, and a collector will get started working on it. Elevator pitch discussions. Anybody?
Yeah, I got a question kind of for the group on that. In regards to elevator pitches, does anybody have any success, or I mean, I keep going back and forth on how to do voicemails, and I've talked to Rick about it. Rick kind of leaves I think it's about a 30-second elevator pitch, and he said he probably gets 1% callbacks on those, and I've been reading different sales books about voicemails. Does anybody have any good, or maybe in regards to that, it is your elevator pitch you're leaving on your voicemail. Anybody that something they've done that they like that works? What do you think about voicemails, Mike?
Well, if I'm selling, I don't leave them. I usually do not leave a voicemail if I'm selling. If I'm collecting, yeah, I leave. But in sales, most of the time, unless it's somebody I've spoken to before and I'm something moving, I mean, a lot of them aren't going to call you back. It's something I've never really bothered with. And some people leave them and it works for them. So I'm on, even though I don't leave them, I'm on the fence about it because some people leave them and get callbacks. I personally don't because I'm kind of a hyper person. I'm bouncing off of the walls when I'm on the phone. If I'm on the phone selling, man, I want to talk to somebody. Man, I don't want to talk to a machine. Give me somebody to talk to. Let me get my talk off, and that's my views on voicemails. Now, the way to find out if it's going to work for you or not, get an elevator pitch together and leave some. If you're not getting enough callbacks, if you've left 200 voicemails and one person called you back, you're probably not using your time effectively. If you've left 100 of them and 10 people called you back, hell, keep doing that. But use it. Figure out how much time is it going to take you to leave a voicemail. Is there something you can leave in 20 or 30 seconds that'll capture attention? It might or might not. I've never been a voicemail leaver, so I couldn't even begin to really completely analyze it or even give you any historical figures because I don't know. Does anybody else have any success in leaving voicemails in not just in this, in any type of sales where you're placing a cold call and leaving, well, an elevator pitch on the voicemail? Does anybody have any success in getting people to call back?
I can't say that my callback ratio is fantastic, but I do leave voicemails. But I'll qualify that by saying as I'm going through my CRM, I'm qualifying. Sometimes it sounds like it's a cell phone, or it sounds like the number isn't really a professional business. I kind of make that judgment when I'm on it. But when I know I'm calling a company, I assume they have accounts receivables issues. I do leave a voicemail and click it as interested and set a callback date because I want them to know that I'm going to continue calling them and eventually they're going to talk to me. So, I've called a couple of different companies 5 times. I've got 0 callbacks, but at some point they're going to talk to me if for no other reason to make me stop calling. But when I do get them on the phone, I'm going to get some information out of them. As far as the content, I try more to lean towards the compelling and concise and obviously clear.
Okay. And out of 100 voicemails that you leave, how many would you say will actually call you back? And this is in any any sales, in sales that you were doing before, in this, give me a number.
Well, in this sales, I get 2 out of 100. In this sales, 2 out of 100. And I can't really give you a number. The numbers were higher in outside sales when I called back because I was always relating specifically to services, you know, that I could make a pitch that was pretty compelling to them. In the solid waste industry, it was easy. I was the owner of the company, and I got a lot more callbacks. But, you know, again, I just do it because I feel some prospects need to hear what I have to say, and I need to hear why they don't want to do business. And it's, I don't know, it just seems to work for me that way.
All right, cool deal, cool deal. So the long and short of that, Hank, is that, well, they work sometimes. They work for some people. If you want to leave them, figure out a way that's effective. And I mean, there's no simple solution to it, man.
I'll tell you, I never leave it on the general voicemail box. When it says leave your message in our general system, when nobody's available, I only leave them when I think I've got the contact person or I'm in the right department or at least beaten down the right path.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I would never recommend leaving a message on general delivery mailbox because it's not going to get you very far.
Well, Jason, would you mind sharing with what is your message you leave typically?
Well, I kind of go off the top of my head, but typically I'm like, hi, this is Jason Bentley with Lyons & Associates. We're an account receivables management firm. I'd love an opportunity to talk to you about our services and introduce myself and our company. So that's one. If I go a little aggressive or I'm being more creative, I would say Jason Bentley from Lyons & Associates. I'm calling today to introduce myself and the company. I promise not to waste your time. We've got some slots open with some of our best collectors. I want to make sure you get an opportunity to see what we're doing now with collections. We're getting 4 times the industry average, and I'll call you back soon and look forward to talking to you.
Cool deal. Cool deal. And
I think if they're really interested in what you have to say and the service that you are offering, they may call you back. Sometimes they can see your name pop up on the caller ID and you did not leave a message, and they'll call you back, and then you have an opportunity to tell them what you were calling about. And sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no, they're not interested. So it's just a numbers game, just like with any other thing.
all right. Reiner, what are your thoughts on voicemails?
I think it's a mixed bag. I have not had anybody call me back, but I know one person that has had good success, Rick. He tends to do pretty good with that. I think it's just his verbiage and how he sounds. But I haven't had anybody call me back, but I've had people respond to my power emails.
Okay. And most importantly, to close, we've got to get the people to talk to us. So obviously, this is something we want to figure out whether it's a waste of time or not a waste of time, to be or not to be. Jason, when you're leaving a message, put something more compelling right in the beginning of it to get their attention. And instead of how far we are above the average, try most effective.
Okay.
Use picture words, most effective. Dominate, you know.
Absolutely. I will try that. The best way for me to do that is to get creative and actually write something out and start using it consistently, because I do kind of go off the top of my head based on what I'm hearing, even in their voice on the voicemail. So I appreciate that input. I'll definitely work on that compelling part.
Okay, and what you want to do on that? Okay, think about when a company puts a commercial on television. They hire an ad agency, and they choose between some ads, and that agency will run what's called an A/B split test to determine which advertisement captivates the most people. So maybe write down, get you a piece of paper, write down voicemail number one, write down whatever it is, or put it in a Word document on your computer and print it up and put a little check mark next to it every time you leave a voicemail. Try one for 1 week. Put a little check next to it and tally them up, or instead of a check, use these. Use these, so you can count them in fives. It'll make it easier for you to count. You can go through it quicker. And use that for number of voicemails you leave, and then on the bottom of the page, have one for number of callbacks. Okay, and try that for a week, then try your next one for a week, and look at the number of callbacks you received on each one, and that'll tell you which one's going to get you more callbacks. It's like an A/B split test. Then take your one that's getting the most and run it against another one. Run it against another one that you think may be even more effective than your effective one. Run another A/B split test. And if your next one's more effective, run that one. If it's not, keep running the other one. Okay, and then, every once in a while, run something else against it. And you can find out what's going to work for you, what's going to work for your selling style, what's going to work for your voice, and how it's going to come across. And, an A/B split test is something they do in advertising. It's something you do in pitches. I've done it on my website before. I have actually done A/B split test on my website before to see what is more appealing to viewers. And the way I do it on my website, for example, is I'd run an ad campaign and put 2 separate landing pages up, both of which where somebody can download a e-brochure and have to put their company information in to generate a lead for us, and see which one does the most conversions. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Which one appeals to the masses? And then we have our solution.
Yeah, those are great suggestions, Mike. I appreciate that. That's something I could work on, is really writing down my voicemail approach, because I do leave them. I mean, I'm not trying to pressure them or pester them. I really, the ones I leave, I think that there's some opportunity there, and I don't think that I'll get credit for my calls in their mind if they don't know that I've tried them 3 other times. They'll pick up the phone. If I haven't left messages, they won't even know I've been trying. Whereas if they know I've been trying to reach them and they answer the phone, I seem to have a better discussion. And I think being friendly with them, not going as fast as I do on here, but being friendly with them, and my tone of voice, seems to help, because I really truly want to learn what opportunities are there, how we can work with them.
Good deal. Good deal. Is there anything else? on elevator pitches, voicemails, situations where you might use an elevator pitch? All right. Well, I suppose we are going to close for now. And Edward Elkins, give me a call on the business you were talking about earlier. That way we can talk about it privately, and everybody doesn't have to listen to it. And Sean, give me a call later today, sometime after business hours. And I hate to say this on the air because this is going to be on our YouTube channel, but my cell number is 504-858-7587.
Alrighty.
And man, I like that hat, man. You're representing, huh?
Got bills to pay.
Good deal, man. We do business with a company with that name. Well, we don't want to get into who we do business with on here, but
Okay.
anyway, give me a shout later on the day after working hours, and I want to talk some shop with you, man.
All right.
All right, and everybody else, you know, you need me, call me, and you use your phone. It's your friend. All right.
Trina, I have some ideas too on that thing that you're working on. If you ever feel like sending me an email or giving me a shout, I could run them by you. I mean, the guys gave you good feedback too, so I just want to let you know as part of the team, if I can ever give you any other suggestions, I'll try.
What is your email address? Is it Jason what at the rest of it? Like, I know it would be your last name, Commercial Collection. So what is your last name? So I can send you an email.
Yeah, no, it's Jason Bentley, Bentley, like the car, but not related.
Maybe you'll get one. Okay, I'll go ahead and send you an email so you can send me your suggestions.
Sure. All
Thank
right.
you.
Cool deal. Teamwork is what it's about, man. I like this. I like this, man. So, is there anybody else? Anybody have anything about elevator pitches? All right. Well, I guess that's it for the day then, and we'll be back on here Friday. And Friday is going to be an open forum, so and our open forum is going to be specifically to discuss elevator pitches a little more. So let's try some out, man. Right? Get some down, try them out. You know, if you need some help with getting some of that stuff together, usually whoever your manager is will have time scheduled for getting your sales training stuff together. You know, guys, we work as a team, we make more money, and we grow better, we become more powerful, and I'm in this industry to dominate, not compete. So,
one other quick question, Mike. I don't know if anybody could think about it or let me know. I've been kind of looking around at different sales books. I mean, there's a lot of obviously there are tons of sales books out there. Has anybody found one that's really good on the inside sales specifically? You know, maybe you can think about it and let you know. Have you got any, Mike, that you found that are good for inside sales?
go on YouTube and watch Grant Cardone. Cardone, and you know, watch me too. But Cardone's a beast, man. He's a beast, and this is. I'll put it to you this way: when I get up in the morning and get on my dreaded treadmill, I usually watch a salesperson's presentations on YouTube, either a Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, or Grant Cardone is the one I watch the most, and he's got stuff on there that's long, and of course he's got his little commercials within it to sell you his books and stuff, but he has some good insight, and his views are very similar to mine on the way he talks about sales, and it's similar to the way I run my business. I'm about action, I'm about being hardcore, and I'm about domination. It's and that's what it has to be about in business. And he's got some books out there. Seller Be Sold is one of them. The 10X Rule. That's a good book. 10X Rule. It's about getting to 10 times your potential. Pretty amazing stuff. And also something you can do if there's different material you're looking for on sales. Sometimes you can search the title of something and put PDF behind it on Google, and a bunch of PDF files will come up that you can read. Now, some of them are good, some of them are crap, but you can, of course, look at them and see which ones are going to benefit you and which one of them won't. And there are books on there. Like I've downloaded. Brian Tracy's got a book called "Eat That Frog." Sometimes moving forward in your career is like eating a frog. Is the basic tale he's telling there, but it's a good read. It's a good read. Eat that frog. You gotta love it.
Hank, I was just going to say that, like Mike said, there's so much out there, man. I would maybe even bounce it off Mike and Rick, whatever you're looking at, because it can get very overwhelming when you start reading a bunch of different sales things, and some of them will have conflicting views. I mean, because the bottom line at the end of the day is you're going to have to do what makes you authentic and what makes you come across the phone well, and you believe in what you're doing. So, I would hate to see you get bogged down with a ton of information and then get on the phone thinking, well, I can't do what they were saying, or which one do I use when, and but Mike and Rick and them can probably help sort that out. But that was it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, and I've got some stuff in PDFs that I can put into a download link for you, and I've got a bunch of crap on my computer. I'll look through some of it and see what's worth reading, and I have a bunch of books that I've read and a bunch of books I haven't read. Most of the ones that are behind me are not books you want to spend a whole lot of time on, like economics and business law. The one on psychology is good, but that's not necessarily going to be too good for you in sales. I'll set something up and get it emailed over to you, and maybe what, that's something I'll share with Rick and Reiner, and also, and they can, because I know they talk to you guys more than I do, so they can make sure you have some links to some stuff, and I'll drop them into my cloud drive on MediaFire, so you can just pop in there and take what you want and leave the rest behind.
Perfect.
Mike, are we going to get into some NLP?
NLP?
Yeah.
Refresh my memory.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Oh my goodness.
Huh?
No wonder I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. Wait a minute.
Hey, the only thing I know about that is
Get my psychology book.
the only thing I know is that the brain is much smarter than neurology.
I mean, a lot of people use it, every day, and you put subtle messages in your messaging that encourage people to continue to buy.
Okay.
It's a real art, a real skill.
Well, maybe that's something we'll get into, man. I'll have to read a book on it before I give a presentation on it. I'm not gonna go into this blind because it's not something that I've studied, man.
Yeah.
Man, it hurts to admit that.
I'm surprised that I got something on you there, Mike. But as we all know, we always continue to learn. No matter how much we know, we can always learn.
Absolutely, and man, look, keep looking for stuff that I don't know, man, because I want to learn more. I'm a sponge, man. I want to learn it all.
Yeah.
And I only have one lifetime to do it, so.
That's right. Well, I just want to leave everybody with the elevator pitch that we need to have by Friday. Make sure that you believe in what we're doing and really understand what we do. I think a lot of people, commercial collections, we call people and try to persuade them to use our services. Where's the believability in that? I mean, we all know that, but you got to believe in what's your belief system. I believe that we have to become bulletproof. So when we talk to somebody, no matter what the objection is or the rejection, that we can come back with a message to compel them into deeper conversation, and we can win them over with our confidence and our belief system in what we're doing. I mean, if all you think that we're doing is calling people and trying to have them use our services, I think you're very shallow-minded personally. But we have to have that belief system, and I think that's part of the problem that a lot of people have is salespeople today. They don't really believe in the product and service that they're offering. And, I kind of resort back to when I had my carpet and upholstery cleaning business. I can tell you that I was one of the best in the county. I still get 4 to 10 people calling me a week, and I sold the business 2 years ago, and I never spent a dime for advertising on Google, and I still come up #1 on Google. So tell me, and I get calls, "Oh, sir, we can put you #1 on Google." I said, "Forget it, I sold the business." I said, "Well, how are you going to put me #1 on Google? I'm already there." So I mean, that's a belief system that I had in that business, and that's a belief system that I'm developing more and more in Lyons and Associates, because I have a success story. Last week I placed a brand new account from a client that I won. She sent over the business, and our collectors started calling on it, and we got a payment in full yesterday on one of them. I mean, 4 days. I mean, man, I'm dropping that every time I get an opportunity. Does that happen each and every time? No, but that can happen for you too. So why not place the business with me today? What's keeping you from placing the business with me? Let me show you what our company can do, man. I mean, that's exciting news.
And I'm gonna tell you what, man. 4 days is pretty fast. We have some that get done in 1 day, man. Some of them even get done. Look, detective call gets done, payments in house, man. that happens sometimes too. But anyway, it's good stuff, man. Sometimes it happens really fast, and sometimes it's a little more drawn out. But guys, once this stuff starts happening for you, see, I can tell Reiner's kind of excited about that, man.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, you know, why are we going to sit back and wonder about placing placements? Let's get on the ball and do it. Let's us do our job for you and show you how good we do it. You know, I mean, vignettes is where it's at, guys. I don't know if you know what vignettes are, but those are true stories that you can relate to your customer or client and let them know what is happening, and you're able to back it up. Those are vignettes, and people love vignettes because they're just short little true stories that you can share and build your confidence level.
We have beignets down here in New Orleans. Does that count?
I don't know. That sounds too French for me, man.
True story.
They're little French donuts that you put powdered sugar on, man. Are really good. Maybe one day we can all sit down and tell beignets over beignets.
There you go.
Man, that's dry and lame. I crack myself up sometimes with my dryness. Love it. Anything else to add, gentlemen, ladies, or lady and gentlemen?
I just want to throw some hope out there for the rest of the team. You know, I had a really rough Wednesday and Thursday. Friday late, I got a placement, and then I've got 2 placements today. So yesterday I was moving, so I didn't do anything. But just to throw some hope out there, we keep casting the lines and fishing. I mean, it's working for me, and I believe in what we're doing, and I know these people that are placing with me are going to see how good we are.
Absolutely, and that's what it's about, man. It's about getting the biz in, getting it collected, getting the client to place repeat business with you, and building a book that's going to make you money. Anything else? Bueller? All right. Well, I guess that is our cue to sign off here. And we'll be doing this, of course, again Friday. Same time, same channel. And Edward Elkins, give me a call about those accounts. And Sean, give me a shout later on, man. Later on today, like this afternoon, because I know once I get off of here, man, I'm gonna go in and check my messages, and I'm gonna have 1 million people to call back, and probably 40 emails. But and that's it. I'll see everybody Friday.